Hello, friends. I am the man with no identity, the man formerly known as John Henderson.
Welcome to the Theater of Thrills!
So you've come back. You must have a strong constitution. Not like that skeleton over there. He doesn't have any guts. We continue now with the story of Dr. Jekyll. After Henry Jekyll drove shy young Hettie Wilson to a life of poverty, desperation, and crime, Henry's friend Hugh Lanyon helps him hide her from the police. We continue now with the story. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now present George Edwards in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Margaret, my dear, dinner has been waiting almost 10 minutes now. Do you intend to wait any longer for those two young men?
No, Father, I don't think I will. Oh, here's Hugh now. I wonder where Henry is.
Perhaps Hugh will be able to tell us.
Margaret, 1,000 apologies. Henry and I went off to spend the day out in the country and didn't get back until late.
Where is Henry? Isn't he coming?
There was a call waiting for him when he got in. Something rather urgent, I think. He said to tell you that he'd be along as soon as he could.
I didn't know Henry was bothering much about a private practice.
Oh, this is one of his patients in the East End. You knew he went down there twice a week to give free advice and medical attention, didn't you?
No, I had no idea.
Neither had I. How long has he been doing this, Hugh?
Oh, for quite a while, I understand. He was telling me this afternoon that he intends equipping a proper clinic with some of his mother's money and possibly opening a convalescent home somewhere out in the country where poor people can go.
Why, Daddy, isn't that splendid? Oh, now I can understand what's kept him tied up in London all the summer. And me thinking it was something else.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that he's putting the money to such good use. And now, Margaret, my dear, our guests must be famished. I've asked John Fairley to take you in to dinner. Are you ready?
Oh, but I'd much rather go in with Hugh. I want to hear what he's been doing on the continent and a whole lot more about Henry's clinic.
Oh, I'm afraid that will have to wait, my dear. Here's John now, and you can't disappoint him.
Then don't you go sitting half the evening over your port, Hugh.
Not even Mr. Utterson's excellent wine shall keep me away from you. Oh, hello, fella.
Oh, hello. When did you get back?
2 days ago. See you later, Margaret.
Hugh, will you take Miss Dawson in?
Yes, certainly, Mr.
So I draw the prize after all.
What do you mean, John?
When I saw our good friend Hugh Lanyon arrive, I thought that you'd be going into dinner on someone else's arm.
Which proves all over again that one should never despair.
What do you mean by that, Margaret?
I mean that Henry isn't here, and see, I take your arm.
And why isn't he here? What can there possibly be to explain his neglect of you all these weeks? His failure to come tonight?
Fortunately, I can now tell you. Henry's gone to attend to one of his patients in the East End of London.
The East End? I didn't know he had a practice there.
Neither did I, but he has, and he's there now, because he feels that to help one of those poor people down there is better than to be here eating and drinking with us. And I agree with him. And now, if you'd kindly move my chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Really, I apologize.
Henry, where are you taking me?
Wait till I unlock this door.
Oh, but this is the same place you brought me to before.
Yes, and the place you ran away from, you little goose.
You didn't come back.
Well, I couldn't. When I went over to the house that night to get you some clothes and food, I found my father there. How could I explain to him about you? I had to pretend to go to bed. When I came over here an hour or so later, there was no sign of you.
Oh, Henry, if I'd only known.
And then you ran out of the place and tried to throw yourself into the river from the Battersea Bridge.
What else was there for me to do? I had no one. No friends. No money. No nothing.
Poor little Hettie. Well, sit down there and I'll get you something to drink. Here. Now take this.
Thanks.
You had me, you know. I tried to find you the next day. I went to the place where you were, but they wouldn't let me see you.
You come to the prison infirmary?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if I'd only known. It would have meant so much to me. Why didn't you leave a message? Just a word.
I did. I told the warden to tell you that I'd been. I left some money and a note.
I never got them, never. And all this time, I've been so bitter. It's made me worse than I'd have been otherwise.
How?
I was one of the bad ones in that place I got away from today. The matron told me I had a criminal mind. They shut me up by myself. They weren't going to let me out. I was to stay there for another 3 months for bad behaviour.
So you ran away?
Yes. One of the warders, he helped me.
So they're not all inhuman, then?
You don't think he did it out of kindness, do you? I paid him for everything he did, the beast.
Hettie.
I meant what I said this afternoon, that I'd die before I went back there.
You poor little thing.
Have you got any more of that brandy?
Well, what about something to eat? There's food in the cupboard over there.
Food? Real food? I haven't tasted any for nearly a year.
Well, here it is.
Chicken, white bread, and butter. I can't believe it's true.
Well, it is. The whole nightmare of the past is over, too. I'm going to see that things are better for you from now on, Hettie.
I couldn't be much worse, that's one comfort.
Well, tell me what happened to you after you came out of the hospital.
Oh, you mean after I tried to throw myself into the river? They sent me to prison for 3 months. It's against the law to attempt to take human life, they told me. Even your own.
And then?
I made some friends in there. They were in for other things, stealing mostly. I went to live with them when I came out. Well, I was a beginner at the game, and I got caught pretty soon.
For stealing?
Uh-huh. Got a year for it. I should have been coming out now, but they decided to keep me there for insubordination and insolence. That's about the lot. I ran away this afternoon, and here I am. If I get caught, I guess I'm there for years. They don't encourage prisoners to run away.
They won't catch you.
What you going to do with me?
I'm going to keep you here for tonight. No one will find you. It's my laboratory. No one ever comes here but myself. But no running away, mind.
Is it likely? Without the cops in London on the watch out for me?
Good. Then I'll leave you now. There's a bed over there and plenty of food. I'll see you first thing in the morning. Will that do?
Yes, that'll do. I'll have to do. I guess I've got to take anything from you now.
You won't have to take anything from me.
It couldn't be any worse than what I've been taken in the past. No matter what it is, prison and the warders, solitary confinement weren't any worse than knowing that you'd tricked me, let me down.
Oh, Hettie, please don't.
But you did, didn't you? You got me off to London knowing darn well that you'd never come and see me like you promised, didn't you? All right. You don't have to say anything. I know.
Will you let me try and make it up to you?
Huh? How? By flipping me a fiver and telling me to run home and forget all about it?
Oh, no. I won't let you down this time. I swear I won't.
But you won't want to be saddled with me now, any more than you did years ago. Oh, don't worry. I understand these things now. I'm not green anymore. Perhaps you like me better that way.
I liked you before.
But not as much as you did your good name. It wouldn't have done for Henry Jekyll to be mixed up with a common little nobody like me. And it wouldn't do now. So don't think you fool me, Henry.
But I'm not trying to fool you. I acted like a cad, and I admit it. Now I'm willing to try and help you. If you don't think I'll do it, well, you can walk out that door.
Oh, no. It's nice and comfortable here. And I've had precious little comfort for a long time. I think I'll stay. Yeah, that's right. I'll stay. Maybe you'll get sick of me like you did before. But you won't get rid of me so easily this time. Not be a long shot. If you only knew how much I've learned since that night you kissed me goodbye in the old mill.
I don't blame you for being bitter, Hettie.
Thanks. But you can run along if you want to. I suppose you've got some pressing engagement somewhere. Give the lady my kind regards, and I'll be waiting for you tomorrow. So long.
Henry, you've come at last. I was beginning to despair of you.
I'm most awfully sorry, Margaret, but it was impossible to get away before.
You don't have to apologize. I understand perfectly. Hugh gave me your message. I think it's just wonderful of you, Henry.
What is?
That work you're doing in the East End, the clinic. Why didn't you tell me about it before?
But, who told you now?
Why, Hugh, of course. Well, do come into the other room with me and tell me all about it. I do think you're mean, you know. I've been wondering and wondering what you do with yourself, and all the time you've been helping these poor people. Won't you let me help?
Why, I don't know what to say, Margaret.
Well, surely there's something I can do there. I could take temperatures and bandage legs or arms.
Can I see you for a moment, old chap? Yes, of course. Will you excuse me, Margaret?
On condition you come back immediately and tell me everything.
I'll do my best. I won't be a moment. Well, Hugh, what's the matter?
Look here, I didn't know what to say to account for you not being here, so I said you had a call to go down to one of your patients in the East End. Now, that's all right, isn't it?
Oh, I suppose it is. But I told you about my work there in strictest confidence, you know.
Oh, yes, I know, but dash it all, something pretty desperate had to be done. Margaret was looking daggers, just about ready to throw herself into John Fairley's arms. The clinic saved the day, old boy.
I wonder.
Oh, of course it did. Anyhow, why should you be so secret about it? It's something anyone could be proud of. Not many fellows with your money and opportunity cares a hang for the poor wretches down there. You know, I think it's juiced decent of you.
Thanks, Hugh. Thanks. It's nice to feel that someone thinks well of me.
Oh, I'm not the only one. Let's look over there. Look at the way Margaret's watching you. Go on. Follow up your advantage. Her father's been hoping that you've been up to all sorts of crimes while she's been away. And all the time you've been above reproach.
Hugh, shut up. You're an idiot.
Come on, Hugh. You've had him all the afternoon. I've not seen him for ages.
He's all yours, Margaret. And see you make the most of him.
I wish he'd make the most of me. You will let me come down to the clinic with you one day, won't you, Henry?
Yes, of course you can.
When?
Would tomorrow afternoon do? I'll be busy in the morning on something else.
Oh, yes, of course it will. I'll put off everything else for it. Why didn't you tell me about it before?
Well, I wanted to be sure of it. Sure of myself. It's just an experiment so far.
I know it'll succeed. I'm so happy, Henry. Tell me, are you just a little pleased to see me again?
Pleased? My dear, if you only knew.
Yeah, come on.
Well, did you sleep?
Off and on. This is a queer place. Gets on your nerves after a while.
Yes, it is a bit gloomy. Never mind. I've come to take you out of it.
Where to?
A friend of mine who's away from London has left me the keys of his rooms. I know he won't mind you using them.
Supposing he comes back and finds me there.
Oh, he wouldn't do that without letting me know.
Are you sure? What's his name?
His name?
Yes.
His name is Edward Hyde.
That's a funny name.
Well, he's rather a queer person himself. Still, his rooms are very comfortable. You can be sure of not being disturbed. Look, I brought you some clothes. If you dress yourself in these, I'll go and get a cab. You can slip out the back door and into it, and no one need see you.
It's funny to hear you talk like that. Anyone would think you'd been helping criminals to escape all your life.
You're not a criminal, Hettie.
Oh, yes, I am. 7 charges of stealing against me. You can't wink your eye at that, you know.
Well, get yourself dressed and we'll be on our way. I'll open the door into the little lane at the back. You can come out as soon as you're ready. You'll find me waiting in the cab.
Say, there isn't any trick in this, is there?
What makes you ask?
I don't know. You just get used to looking for the catch in things after a while.
Oh.
Why should you bother about me anyhow?
Just to try and make you see that I'm not all bad.
No, I never thought that. I just know you're like all the rest of us. Didn't want to be found out, that's all. Say, this is a nice dress. Where'd you get it?
I went out and bought it first thing this morning.
Well, you've got a good eye for what's nice, I'll give you that. Off you go then, I'll be ready in about 10 minutes.
Well, here we are. Nobody here. Just as I told you.
Cool. This is a bit of style, isn't it? You Mr. Hyde must be a proper swell to have things like this. What's he doing with it in a mean little back street like this?
Well, I told you he was rather a queer sort of chap. He prefers this part of London.
Do you mean to say he won't mind me being here?
I'm sure he won't. Now, just make yourself at home and do what you like.
But look at the carpet and the furniture. Wow, I've never seen things like that before out of a shop. Bit neglected, though. Oh, look at all the dust.
Well, you see, he's been away some time, and you can amuse yourself cleaning it up.
And what'll I do after that? I can't stay cooped up here all the time.
Well, wait till tonight. After it gets dark, I'll come back and, well, then we can decide what you'll do. Can you put up with it for a day?
Put up with it? Didn't I tell you I'd been doing solitary confinement in that hellhole of a prison reformatory?
I'll order some food to be sent round to you from the shops. The tradespeople know this place. There's a little box just outside the kitchen door. They leave everything there, so you needn't see anyone at all.
Gee, look at the sun shining outside. You can see it even in this dirty little street. It'd be nice to go for a walk, wouldn't it?
Oh, I don't think you'd better do that.
Oh, don't worry, I'm taking no chances. If you only knew what it's like to be shut up for months on end. The very thought of walking about among people again. Oh, well, no good thinking of that. You'll come tonight for sure, won't you?
For sure. You can expect me around about 10 o'clock.
10? That's late.
Well, it doesn't get dark till nearly 9.
Yeah, that's right. And you're just as anxious to keep out of sight as I am. Wouldn't do to be seen with me, would it?
Please, Hettie.
Oh, I don't blame you. Off you go, then. I can see you're on pins and needles. I'll be all right here.
Well, I'll see you at 10 o'clock, then.
Yes, at 10 o'clock.
Now, it's all right, little fellow. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you very much. Margaret, hand me over that basin of water and some fresh lint, will you?
What's the matter, Henry? Is he badly hurt?
I can't tell yet. Well, old chap, what happened? Did you get knocked down?
Yes, sir. I was riding along the street on a message from my mother.
And you got mixed up with a horse and dray. I know. The driver told me about it when he brought you here. Well, now, let's have a look at this leg of yours. Ooh, steady now, steady. Ooh, steady. I may have to hurt a bit.
Look, you hold my hand. Hold it hard, see? I don't mind if you dig your nails into me. There. Does that help a little?
Yes, miss.
Then you hang on for all you're worth. Tell me, what's your name?
Johnny, miss.
Johnny, is it? I knew someone named John. He lives in the country. Have you ever been out into the country, Johnny?
Once, on a bank holiday. My mother and my father took me out to Hampstead Heath.
Did you like it?
Oh, yes, it was busking, miss. Merry-go-rounds and coconut shies, and then we seen a real good go in between two fellas down near the Bull and Bush Hotel.
That's what you call a day in the country, is it? That isn't what I mean. I mean where you can see horses and cows and walk for miles and miles over the green fields and find birds' nests and go fishing.
Is that what the chap you know does?
You mean John? Oh, yes, he does all those things.
Oh, crikey, I'd like to see a bird's nest.
John's got a collection of eggs he found when he was a little boy.
Oh, he's grown up now, is he?
Yes, he's a man now.
Oh.
Oh, but he still likes to walk along the hedgerows and look for nests. We found a thrush's nest one day when I was staying down at his place. He showed me the little mother bird sitting on her eggs.
He must be a pretty nice sort of cove.
He is. Oh, poor little chap. Have you nearly finished, Henry?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. My hand must have slipped. I think I've got this wound fairly clean now. There aren't any bones broken, so I'll just have to bandage it, and then he can go home.
Oh, but he won't be able to walk.
Well, as soon as his mother comes, we'll get a cab and send him off in that.
Where is he? Where is my Johnny?
Oh, well, that sounds like her now.
Dr. Jekyll, the little boy's mother's here now. Will I let her come in?
Yes, I think it'll be all right, thank you, nurse. Will you be a good boy now, Johnny, and tell your mother you're not hurt much?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell her to come in, nurse.
Very well.
I don't think Nurse Peters quite approves of my bringing you down here, Margaret.
Oh, I hope she won't think I'm trying to usurp her place.
She's a grand person, but just a little bit touchy.
Perhaps I'd better go then.
Oh, no. Let her get used to the idea of you. I hope this won't be your last visit down here, Margaret.
Would you really like me to come?
Well, if you can bear the sights and sounds, some of them aren't very pretty, you know.
If I could be of any help, I'd come every day of my life.
Margaret, I don't deserve what you give me, you know.
When I see you working here amongst these poor, friendless people, giving so much to them, I feel ashamed that I ever doubted you.
You have doubted then?
Yes, Henry. I have. Oh, forgive me, will you? I'm such a fool to have ever listened. But I won't again. I swear it.
The things you heard are probably true. There's more than one side to my nature, you know.
Johnny. Oh, Johnny.
He's all right. Look, he's sitting up as though nothing had ever happened.
Oh, how can I ever thank you, sir? They told me you were taking care of him. He's down at Dr. Jekyll's, they says. And I just thank heavens for that. For if anything can be done for my boy, it's Dr. Jekyll will do it.
Oh, that's all right, then. He's just been cut and knocked about a bit, and you'll have to keep him quiet for a few days till the wound heals on his knee. After that, he'll be running about as well as ever.
And don't you go letting me catch you hanging onto the backs of drivers and lorries anymore, young man, or I'll give you what's what, I will.
Oh, poor little chap.
Me, Mum, can't you give a fellow a chance?
Johnny's probably learnt his lesson. Now, I'll get a cab for you, and you can take him home. I'll call in and have a look at him this evening and see that no other symptoms have developed. Leave your address with Nurse Peters before you go, will you?
Oh, how can I ever thank you, sir? You're a heaven-sent blessing to us people here. If only there was more of your kind, the world would be a different place.
Oh, you don't have to thank me. Just keep young Johnny away from horses' hooves in future, and that'll be enough.
You can trust me for that. If ever I catches him at it again.
Dr. Jekyll, there are a lot of people in the waiting room.
Oh, thank you, nurse. Do you think you could get someone to find a cab to take Johnny and his mother home?
I'll try, Doctor.
Good. Now, off with you, young man. I'll see you later on. Send in Mrs. Higgins next, will you please, nurse?
Yes.
Goodbye, mister. Goodbye, lady. And if that cove you know has any of them eggs to spare...
I'll ask him the next time I see him.
Oh, Johnny, haven't I told you not to keep asking for things?
Quite all right.
Well, Mum, that's the only way I can get things.
I think you'd better leave this next patient to Nurse Peters, Margaret. It's a leg ulcer and not a very pretty sight.
Oh, if I sat away in the corner and just watched, would I be in the way?
Oh, you'd never be in the way, sweetheart.
I do so want to learn, and this is the only way I can do it.
All right, but don't be ashamed to say if things get too much for you. Many a first-year medical student has to rush out of the casualty room, you know.
Did you, Henry?
I did, and more than once. All the human frailties are mine, I'm afraid.
Mrs. Higgins, Doctor.
Who's that? Is that you, Henry? Henry, is that you? Why don't you answer? It's dark down there, I can't see.
Is that Miss Hettie Wilson speaking?
Yes. Who's that?
Don't be afraid, my dear.
I'm a friend of Henry Jekyll's.
A friend of Henry Jekyll's? Did he send you here?
Yes. He wasn't able to come here himself, and he thought you might be disappointed.
Who are you?
In another minute, I'll be at the top of the stairs, and you'll be able to see me, my dear. Hold that lamp a little higher. It's very dark here. There now. That's better. Can you see me? My name is Edward Hyde.